Hey, Royal visit to Canada headlines this week's Royal Roundup. Here is our royal expert, Patricia Treble. Patricia, good morning. And Princess Anne making a quick stop in BC over the weekend. What can you tell us about the visit?
Well, she is, I'm going to slow down for this, she is Commodore-in-Chief of the Canadian Fleet Pacific. And there was a big event, which was the commissioning of the new Arctic Patrol vessel, HMCS Max Bernays. So she was overseeing that in Vancouver. And then when you're Commodore-in-Chief, you and your husband get to go on the ship and overnight as they go to Esquimalt, because it has to have privileges. And so that's why we saw her. We saw her a lot in her Royal Canadian Navy uniform. Lots of military events, meeting military families. It was the anniversary of the Battle of the Atlantic. Some big events. And yeah, 3 days and just bang, 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 bang. And they're gone.
And we're seeing a lot of Princess Anne these days because, I mean, she has to step up, right?
Exactly. We are actually seeing a lot of her. Normally, the media doesn't really follow her on her engagements, but there simply is just a dearth of everyone else. And I crunched the data. She's not actually up that much, only about 3% over last year, but she's accounting right now for nearly 1/3 of all royal engagements. And that is simply because everyone else is doing so much less. Because illness and looking after people who are ill is taking a big toll.
Sure.
All right, Prince Harry will be traveling this week, heading back to London on Wednesday. That's part of an Invictus Games service. What do we know about his travel plans, and do they include a visit with his father, the king, or his brother?
Well, the timing is auspicious, Wednesday. So we know he'll be alone at the Invictus service at St. Paul's Cathedral. We're not quite sure where Meghan is, because then they're going off to Nigeria. But that's the day that there is the first of the big garden parties at Buckingham Palace. And this is like 4,000 people, so it's not like an intimate little thing. Is the king going to be there? He's normally in London in the middle of the week. He has his cancer treatments, which he's continuing. The hope is that, yes, they're going to meet. Is he going to meet with William? Unlikely. Likely William is going to be in Windsor. There's an investiture. He's likely going to say, that's the time I'm going to be there. Because, of course, things are just better between father and son than they are between brothers. Yeah.
Okay. Today also marks the first anniversary of the King's coronation. Amazing. And there's good news for the King, thanks to some new polling numbers.
Exactly. All the main royals are up in the polls, and some, quite significantly. When you're up 4 or 5%, that's a big bump. No doubt that, no surprise that William and Kate are the most popular, but more importantly, also the institution of the monarchy is up. I mean, so it has been a tumultuous year. It has been a sad year, but it's also been, in retrospect, a good year for the monarchy, and a busy year. Yeah.
Now, as we spoke last week, the king, of course, returned to royal duties. That included a visit with cancer patients and attending the Royal Windsor Horse Show as well. Tell us a bit more, if you could, about the king's first week back. And do we anticipate him returning to a full schedule anytime soon?
Oh my goodness, that was like he was the happiest man returning to public engagements. And that was the perfect engagement. See, talking to cancer patients. And he was there, he was talking about, because he has something to relate. So they were talking about, when did you hear, what was your reaction when you heard side effects of treatment? What specific treatments are you doing? They spent a long time there. And then, yes, as you said, the horse show, because they love it. It's literally in the shadows of Windsor Castle, so it's easy for him to get to. And a lot of the family was there. His niece Sarah gave him a huge hug, as Sarah is always does with her uncle, because they're so close. But this is a slow step, and this is they do not want him to plunge in, because he will want to plunge in. Somebody has described him as a caged lion as he's been away from public duties. There's some big events coming up. We've got D-Day, the 80th anniversary. So I think they're going to block those big events off and then try to work everything else around it, but gradually, because he's still undergoing cancer treatment.
For sure. Patricia, what is the new coronation rule?
I've been waiting for this. I love history. So for every monarch, they do a roll of everything that happens at the coronation. And it was parchment, and so you literally rolled it to stop it from creasing. The oldest existing one dates back to 1308. They just unveiled the King's coronation roll for the first anniversary. 21 meters, hand calligraphy, and it's amazing. Every detail for everything you ever geekily wanted to know. But the amazing thing is they put it online. So now if you go to the UK government website, you can see interviews, you can get up to close views of it in a way that nobody could, because it was always researchers would only be able to handle it. And so now everyone can look at it.
So is it kind of like a scroll?
It is 21 meters long. It's made out of cotton paper, and they sew each piece of cotton paper together, and they literally start at the beginning of the coronation, go to the end.
Details.
Everything is written down.
Oh.
All right. And as you mentioned, you can check it out for yourself online.
It is very cool.
Yeah. All right. We'll have to leave it there. Patricia, great to see you as always on a Monday. Thank you so much.
Thank you.